Hey everybody, welcome to me going live doing a deal breakdown of a deal we just finally completed from front to back. So we have a deal that we bought in Lakeland, Florida. The seller reached out to us, wanted to sell his house. He just bought it. The house is recently renovated, so it needed nothing. He was moving out of state after he just bought the house, owned it for about 9 months. He knew listing it on the market, by the time you take out commissions, he was gonna have to write a check. He would owe more than what it was worth at the time. So he said, let's just sell it this way to you guys. So we bought this deal for $195, but I didn't go up with cash. I didn't go to the bank and ask for a loan. He let us buy it, which is called creative finance. What does that mean? Well, that means that we bought his house with $1,000 down, guys, okay? That was it, that's a zero. We paid about $5,000, was it $5,000 or $6,000 in closing costs? Let's go with $5,000. So $5,000 in closing costs. Guys, we own a piece of real estate for $6,000, okay? Now, we had to put on an insurance policy. Somebody broke into the house and smashed a window, not once, but twice. So we had to have that fixed. Had to have the lawn mowed. That's, whatever that was for there. But we have other expenses into that, right? So all into that number, we have probably approximately, say, $10,000 out of pocket to buy that deal. Now, what did we do with that, right? We had $10,000 out of pocket. Plus, when we bought it, we had to make his payment while we were looking for what we do, which is called rent to own. And I'm gonna break that down in a minute. So his payment, I believe, is about $1,600 a month. Maybe it's $1,500 if I'm remembering right. So if we had to make 4 payments, let's just say of $1,600, which I'd probably give or take, that's another $6,000 of payments we had to make while looking for our rent-to-own buyer. And guys, I'm giving you a real breakdown, not the fluff that you see, $1,000 crap, whatever. This is the real stuff here. So $16,000 down. Now what did we do? We just found a rent-to-own tenant buyer. So what we do is we rent the house to somebody who wants to own it later on. So the folks who just moved into this house, we got a check for $14,800, guys, for them to move in. So our selling price when we are selling it is $250, rent to own. But we bought it for $195, okay? So you can see we have a nice spread there. But what's happening is these folks are gonna rent it to us after giving us almost $15,000 down, right? We still have another $235,000 left where they still owe us on that deal. Here's the best part. Our rent is $1,800 a month, is what we charge. Our underlying payment, let's just say is $1,500. So we're making $300 a month profit because with rent to own, I'm not responsible for maintenance, repairs, utilities, they are. So that spread is yours to keep. So what happened? It took $16,000 out of pocket to make that deal, but we just collected $15,000. So what do we have out on that deal right now? $1,000 total. Now if I'm making $300 a month in 4 months, I'm even. So 4 months of owning this real estate, we are even on that deal, and from everything else now, it's pure profit. What do I have into this deal? After a few months, I've got no money. I've got no credit, no bank checks, no verifying income, and I have a cash flowing asset in Florida, guys, in a turnkey, beautiful house in a beautiful neighborhood. The neighborhood, besides the kids breaking into it, hey, whatever, it happens everywhere. But these were just young kids having a good time, wasn't anything in there going crazy. But this is the kind of deal, guys, why we love buying houses with terms, but then also doing rent to own, because if I had to leave $16,000 out, and to make $300 a month, you can see my rate of return is okay. It's still a great deal. But the fact that I only have $1,000 out and I'm making that return and I'm breaking even after about 3 to 4 months, this is why we love this process. Now, over time, what's happening? The seller still owes us $235. Sorry, my marker is dying.
The buyer.
I'm sorry, my buyer still owes me $235. But meanwhile, we bought this for $195 and they're paying down that principal every single month. I'm getting the write-off depreciation, we get pay down, We're making money every single month. We have no money, no credit tied in this deal. So once we figure out this recipe, guys, you could buy as much real estate as you want anywhere. This doesn't work just in Florida. It works in California, it works in Alaska, in New York, and every other state in between there. So when we figured out this recipe that I'm giving you the real numbers breakdown, I'm even gonna draw this, guys. This was a pretty house, okay? Much better looking than that house.
Get a close up.
I'm not an artist. I'm a house guy. I love real estate, so you could see that. But this was a beautiful house. No work needed besides getting these 2 windows fixed. Other than that, the place was turnkey. No more junkers. Although we still look for those 2 and we still make them, but I way more prefer this. So how can you scale a real estate business without needing a lot of cash? I'm breaking it down for you guys right now. So I hope you're having a wonderful Thursday. This is just the most recent one. I've got a lot more of these in the works we're working on right now that I'm going to give you the live breakdown as well. So guys, how can you get started in real estate? Do this stuff.